Hey, this is Justin with DayTradeTheMarkets.com. It is Tuesday, July 15th. It's about 10:17 Eastern Time, and I put in an order to sell right here at 71 quarter. My logic on this is, and this is what I'm going to call a nimble trade, but my logic here is that we have a set of two level 3 extreme selling aggression bars in a row right here, one and then two. So where they overlap, they barely overlap, but where they basically overlap, I'm going to put a limit order to get short, kind of in the sweet spot type of an idea. And this is one of my favorite setups personally, right in this area. Now, the caveat with this trade is that our bigger picture bias is up. However, I'm willing to take trades going the other way as long as there's good evidence in the short term, which I'll explain that I think we have, and as long as I'm nimble with the trade. And what I mean by nimble is I'm going to, instead of being really aggressive and jumping in at the market, I'm going to wait for a pullback like I'm doing right now, so I can limit my risk to, in this case, to about 2 points, which is pretty reasonable for me. And then also I'm going to make sure that this market goes in my favor pretty quickly. If it doesn't go in my favor pretty quickly, then I'm going to bail out of the trade because, again, we're kind of swimming upstream. So that's assuming I get in. There's a chance that I won't get filled. There's a chance this could turn around and I miss it by a tick. I'm willing to live with that in this case if that is what's going to happen. I'm willing to live with that because I'm not going to be overly aggressive against the bigger picture bias. If our bigger picture bias was down and we're getting this kind of activity on the low of the day, then I would be very aggressive in getting in. But in this case, because we're kind of still swimming upstream, I like the structure, but I want to put that in context and I want to play it as safe as possible. Okay. So in terms of the structure that we're working with, we've had 4 extreme aggression bars today. The first one came in here. Didn't get any follow through. So at this time I was kind of thinking, okay, we'll probably head higher, which we did for a point or two, but that's not, I would have expected a little bit more. But that didn't come to pass. Then we had this next level 3 selling aggression bar right here. And this one, was interesting because we didn't get any immediate follow through, what I consider a full bar. We came right up to the top, tested it, came right back down to the bottom, tested it. This contained the market for a good half an hour, and then it finally broke through to the downside right here, and it did so on these more extreme aggression bars right in here. So I really like to key in on the level 3 extreme aggression bars, and so this first one we didn't have follow through, so I'm certainly not going to be on the short side. This next one contained the market for a good half an hour. You can see contained it at the high, the low, the high. We finally did break out. I would have expected, frankly, probably a breakout to the upside. That didn't happen. We got the breakout to the downside. Okay, there's my fill. I'm going to put my stop a couple ticks above that. First target's fine there. Second target I'll let run out as much as possible. But again, we did get the breakout of this consolidation of this level 3 bar. If we would have gotten the breakout on the upside with level 3 buying aggression, I would have jumped on right away. We didn't. We got it to the downside, and we got it with really strong selling aggression, extreme selling aggression, 2 in a row. So that's why I set up this sweet spot type of a trade. So hopefully that makes sense. What I'll do is just kind of monitor this thing. The way I look at a trade is, do I think I have an edge on this trade? Can I justify it? And I feel like I can. I feel like I can justify the trade. I feel like it makes sense, like for the reasons I just explained, so I can live with that. Can I justify or can I live with the amount of risk that I have on the trade? And again, it's about 2.25 points in the ES. It's not a huge position. I can certainly live with that. Now, I'd like to see this thing move in my direction pretty quickly. I definitely do not want to see any, level 2 or level 3 buying come in now that I'm in the trade. If that were to happen, I might, tighten up my position a little bit because, again, I'm trying to be nimble on this because I know I am swimming against the current a little bit, so to speak. And so at this point, can I live with the risk? Can I live with the fact that if it loses, it was a decent decision? Yeah, I can live with that because, again, the the logic for getting in, I feel like I have certainly better than a coin flip's chance that this works out, and I can live with the amount of risk relative to that opportunity. So that's my thinking, and so now I just have to kind of wait and see how it develops, and then manage it accordingly. So I guess we're 5 minutes into the video here. What I'll do is I'll pause this and start the video back up, if and when there's something new to report. Okay, just got filled on the first target, so I'm going to bring my stop down. So I'm just risking a point from my entry. I want to give it a little space, so I made, I don't know, it's basically a break-even trade at this point. But it's got enough space. Worst case is a break-even. Best case is if this thing runs out for me, then I've got a nice winner. I can live with that either way. And what I'm going to do at this point is I'm just going to manage this trade by kind of trailing it down with any selling aggression bars that come into the market. So in other words, if we get a level 2 or level 3 selling aggression bar that comes in, I'll bring my my trailing stop down a couple ticks above the high of that bar. Just keep trailing it down until it stops me out. That's how I tend to like to manage trades. Now we'll see. I mean, I may get out of this for a break-even trade, and that's the way it goes, and we live to trade again. But that's my plan at this point. So again, can I live with the risk I have on the trade? Yeah, because I've got a break-even basically scenario here. And we'll just kind of wait and see. So I'll go ahead and pause this, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so it's a little bit later. We have made new lows of the day on a level 2 selling aggression bar. So I'm just going to bring my stop down a couple ticks above the high of that bar. If these sellers are for real, they should get some continuation. If this is the end of the line, then at least I've locked in a small profit on the trade. But I think this is a good way to kind of quantify that or conceptualize it, is that if these sellers are for real, then this latest selling wave, although it's not extreme, it's strong. The high of this should at least hold, and we should have some continuation lower. If it cannot hold, then it looks like, at least for the time being, we would have found a bottom. So that's my thought process at this point. If we continue on lower and we get more selling aggression bars, I'll just move it down. So we'll see. I'll pause it now and come back as we have more information. Okay, here is another bar to work with, a level 3 bar in this case. So this could be a nice move underway. Again, I realize that I'm kind of bigger picture swimming upstream, so I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna kind of lock in whatever I can get at this point, and if it continues lower, I'll lock it in. If not, I'll take the profit where I've got my stop. So so far it's everything's worked out nicely. So I will pause this and come back when we have more information. Okay, now this is an interesting situation. The very next bar is a level 2 selling aggression bar. Okay, now this is a tough situation. I can put my stop a couple ticks above the high of this bar, or I could say, well, that's essentially an inside bar to the level 3 bar, and I want to give that as much room as possible. Because we're swimming upstream, against the bigger picture bias of the market, I want to be more nimble. Like I said at the beginning, I'm going to be more nimble in my entry and exit decisions. So I'm just going to lock in what I can get. If I get taken out and it turns out it could have moved lower, that's okay. I'm going to lock in as much as possible because, again, we're fighting the bigger picture bias, which is up. If the bigger picture bias was down, then I would most certainly keep my stop above the high of this level 3 bar up here. And give it as much room as possible. I hope that makes sense. So it's just a matter of managing the trade a little bit differently based on the context. I don't know if my decision is going to turn out to be exactly right, or if I'm going to wish I had made a different decision, but I can't control that at this moment in time, which is 10:43 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. All I can control is trying to make the best sense I can of what's going on in the market so that I can maximize my decision-making process. So I hope that makes sense. That's how I do it. And I hope that makes sense. I'll pause it and come back with more information. Okay, and I ended up getting stopped out here at 67 quarter. So, I mean, we'll see. Now, we're starting to get a little buying aggression, so we'll see. Now, this will be an interesting bar. Do we get quick rejection and have another leg lower, or is this actually the beginning of some potential buying that's coming into the market? The way I would look at it is, at this point, if we get rejection of this level 3 selling bar pretty quickly, we'll probably do for another leg. If we get some follow through, then I would think we would have some potential resistance up near this resistance zone and the top of this high velocity move. So we'll kind of wait and see on that. But in terms of this trade, nice little, 5 contracts, $750 profit on a quick little trade, which I think made pretty good sense, pretty low risk. So, that's how I use the software. So let us know if you have any questions on that, and we'll talk soon.